Ava Gardner, was born Ava Lavinia Gardner on December 24, 1922, in a small, rural farming town called Grabtown in North Carolina. She was the youngest of 7 children in a family that did not have much money, but was very close. Her father worked hard to provide for the family, but when Ava was just 15 years old, he passed away. Losing her father at such a young age changed her life. It made her realize how fragile life could be and forced her to grow up faster than most children. Despite the sadness and hardship, Ava's family stayed close, and she learned the importance of family love and support. These early experiences shaped her personality, making her strong, independent, and determined. Qualities that would later help her survive and succeed in Hollywood, a world known for its competition, harshness, and unfairness. As a young girl, Ava loved beauty and style. She admired the glamorous women she saw in magazines and movies, dreaming that one day she could become a star herself. Her dream seemed impossible at first because of her humble background, but fate intervened in a way she could never have imagined. In 1941, her brother-in-law, who was a professional photographer, took a portrait of her and displayed it in a studio window in New York City. The photograph captured her natural charm, beauty, and a kind of magnetism that could not be ignored. A representative from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, one of the most powerful Hollywood studios at the time, saw the portrait and immediately offered Ava a film contract. This was the beginning of a journey that would transform her from a small-town girl into one of the most famous actresses in the world. When Ava first arrived in Hollywood, she was very young and inexperienced. She was often cast in small roles, sometimes barely speaking lines and mostly serving as decoration in films. Her thick Southern accent made it harder for her to speak clearly on camera, which the studios worried about. However, Ava was determined to succeed. She worked hard in acting and speech classes, learning to control her accent and improve her performance. She practiced for hours, showing dedication that few young actresses could match. Her natural beauty, which included striking green eyes and a glowing presence on screen, helped her stand out. But it was her perseverance and willingness to learn that allowed her to grow as an actress. Her big break came in 1946 with the movie The Killers, in which she starred opposite Burt Lancaster. Ava played Kitty Collins, a seductive and mysterious woman who was central to the film's story. Her performance amazed both audiences and critics, and the film's success made her a rising star almost overnight. From that moment, she was no longer just a pretty face. She was recognized as a talented actress capable of complex emotional performances. In the years that followed, Ava appeared in many acclaimed films, including Mambo in 1954, Showboat in 1951, The Barefoot Contessa in 1954, and On the Beach in 1959. While many of her roles emphasized glamour and sensuality, Ava brought depth, emotion, and authenticity to her characters, proving she was much more than just a beautiful actress. While Ava's career was taking off, her personal life became complicated. Shortly after arriving in Los Angeles, she attracted the attention of fellow MGM star Mickey Rooney. Rooney was already a well-known actor, famous for his role in the Andy Hardy films. Ava was just 19, full of energy and curiosity, and Rooney was 21, experienced and popular. Their relationship moved very quickly, leading to marriage on January 10, 1942. The wedding was small and private, held in Ballard, California, to avoid attention from the press and fans. At that time, Hollywood studios were very controlling of their actors' public images. MGM worried that if the public learned of Rooney's marriage, it could harm his appeal, especially among young female fans who adored him. Unfortunately, Ava's marriage to Rooney did not last. She was very young and still learning about life and love. While Rooney's behavior was unpredictable, he struggled with gambling, was often unfaithful, and had a temperament that Ava could not handle. After less than 2 years, she filed for divorce, citing mental cruelty, a term commonly used in legal documents at the time. Privately, she admitted that the main reasons were Rooney's immaturity and destructive habits. Despite their divorce, Ava chose not to speak negatively about him in public, preserving both her reputation and his. In 1945, Ava married again, this time to Artie Shaw, a celebrated jazz musician known for his intelligence and sophistication. He had previously been married to another Hollywood actress, Lana Turner, and Ava admired his wit and charm. However, the marriage soon revealed deep incompatibilities. Shaw could be controlling and critical, often belittling Ava for her lack of formal education. He tried to shape her into someone she was not, causing her emotional pain. Their marriage lasted less than a year, and Ava later said that while she respected his brilliance, the constant criticism became unbearable. By the mid-1940s, Ava Gardner's career was growing stronger than ever, but her personal life had already shown a pattern. She sought love, passion, and connection, but often found conflict, control, and heartbreak instead. These early experiences prepared her, in a way, for the most intense and famous relationship of her life, with the legendary singer and actor Frank Sinatra. Ava Gardner's romance with Frank Sinatra began in the late 1940s. At the time, Sinatra was still married to his first wife, Nancy Barbado, and their affair quickly became the subject of intense media scrutiny. Gossip columnists and newspapers painted Ava as a homewrecker, and the press often portrayed her as the villain in the story. Despite the public backlash, Ava and Sinatra were deeply drawn to each other. Their attraction was immediate and passionate, a combination of physical desire, emotional intensity, and mutual admiration. While both were strong personalities, the connection they shared was undeniable. They married in 1951 after Sinatra divorced Nancy. At first, the union seemed to promise happiness and a powerful partnership, but reality was far more complicated. Ava's career was at its peak. She was a respected, independent, and accomplished actress. Sinatra, on the other hand, was experiencing professional difficulties. Once a dominant figure in the music world, his popularity had declined, and he faced rejection from studios and record labels. This imbalance created tension. Sinatra became increasingly jealous and possessive, while Ava struggled to maintain her independence and pursue her career. Their marriage was marked by volatility. Arguments often erupted over jealousy and suspicion, and small disagreements could quickly escalate into emotional confrontations. Ava later described moments when Sinatra would confront her on film sets or in hotels, demanding explanations or expressing anger over imagined infidelities. Though he never physically harmed her, the psychological impact was significant. Ava felt trapped between her love for him and the emotional strain he caused. She tried to support Sinatra, encouraging him and using her influence to help revive his career. Notably, she personally reached out to Columbia Pictures to advocate for Sinatra's casting in From Here to Eternity, which led to him winning an Academy Award. While this professional revival was a turning point in Sinatra's career, Ava's role in it remained largely unrecognized at the time. Despite her efforts, the marriage took a heavy emotional toll on Ava. She became pregnant twice, but terminated both pregnancies, a decision she later reflected on with a mixture of regret and frustration. Hollywood studios at the time enforced strict rules against actresses being pregnant during filming, valuing the production schedule and star image over personal choice. Ava's experience highlighted the lack of autonomy women had in the entertainment industry, a reality that caused her deep personal suffering. Over time, the constant arguments, jealousy, and emotional strain made it clear that the marriage could not continue. Ava filed for divorce in 1954, though the legal proceedings were not finalized until 1957. During this time, she moved to Spain to escape the media and seek peace. Yet even distance could not erase the deep emotional attachment she felt for Sinatra. She later admitted that she experienced loneliness, depression, and a sense of grief for the man she had once loved so intensely. Despite their separation, Sinatra remained devoted, and Ava kept letters, gifts, and photographs as private reminders of their time together. Ava's reflections on her marriage to Sinatra were candid and deeply emotional. She acknowledged that their love was passionate but destructive. They were two strong personalities who could not live together peacefully, yet could not let go of each other emotionally. The intensity of their connection left lasting scars on both of them. Ava's honesty about the psychological toll of their marriage offered a rare glimpse into the emotional realities behind Hollywood glamour, showing that love, fame, and talent did not protect her from heartbreak. Their story has become legendary, not just because of the scandal or the celebrity, but because of the universal human truths it reveals. Love can be powerful and consuming, but it can also be destructive when combined with insecurity, jealousy, and unbalanced power dynamics. Ava Gardner's relationship with Sinatra remains one of the most famous and complicated love affairs in the history of Hollywood. A story of passion, devotion, suffering, and endurance. Even after their divorce, Ava never remarried. She continued to have relationships, but none matched the intensity or emotional depth of her bond with Sinatra. She moved to Spain and later London, seeking a quieter life and peace away from the glare of Hollywood cameras. Though she remained a beloved actress, her personal happiness was often overshadowed by memories of the love she had lost and the emotional battles she had endured. In her later years, Ava Gardner focused on finding stability and reflecting on her life. Hollywood had given her fame, wealth, and recognition, but it had also demanded sacrifices, personal, emotional, and sometimes physical. She lived through a time when women had limited control over their careers and bodies, and she experienced the consequences firsthand. She spoke openly in interviews and in her autobiography about the pressure she faced, the choices she was forced to make, and the emotional toll of living a life constantly scrutinized by the public. Ava suffered a stroke in 1986, which marked a serious decline in her health. Despite the years that had passed since their divorce, Sinatra arranged for her to receive medical care in the United States, personally ensuring she had the best treatment possible. This gesture underscored the enduring connection between them. Ava lived quietly for a few more years in London, reflecting on the intensity of her relationships, her career, and her life choices. On January 25, 1990, She passed away at the age of 67 from bronchopneumonia. She was laid to rest in Smithfield, North Carolina, near her family, and her life continues to be honored through the Ava Gardner Museum, established in 1996. Ava Gardner's story is one of contrasts. She was celebrated for her beauty, glamour, and talent, yet she also endured profound emotional suffering. She loved fiercely, suffered heartbreak, and faced the harsh realities of fame and gender expectations. Her life illustrates the complexities of human emotions, showing how passion, love, and desire can coexist with pain, jealousy, and loss. Her relationships, especially with Frank Sinatra, reveal how even the most seemingly perfect love can be fragile and destructive. Today, Ava Gardner is remembered not only as a Hollywood legend, but also as a woman of strength and resilience. Her candid reflections on love, marriage, and personal struggle provide insight into the challenges faced by women in Hollywood's golden age. The letters, photographs, and mementos she preserved from her time with Sinatra are more than keepsakes. They are reminders of a love that was as intense as it was impossible to sustain. Ava Gardner's life remains an enduring story of beauty, talent, love, suffering, and the courage to live fully, even when life is unfair. As Ava Gardner grew older, she began to reflect deeply on her life, the successes, the struggles, the love she had experienced, and the losses she had endured. Hollywood had given her fame, fortune, and admiration from millions, but it had also demanded a price that few could truly understand. She had been judged constantly for her choices in love and her behavior, often unfairly. Yet Ava faced these challenges with honesty and a quiet courage that became her hallmark. Even in her later years, she remained fiercely independent, refusing to let anyone define her solely by her beauty or her relationships with men. She had lived a life of extremes, experiencing the heights of fame and the depths of emotional pain, and she never hid from either. In the years after her separation from Frank Sinatra, Ava sought solace and privacy. She moved to Spain, choosing a life away from Hollywood and the intrusive American press. This move was not just about distance, it was about healing. She wanted to live life on her own terms, to find peace in a world that had often been unkind. Yet even in Spain, she struggled with loneliness. She had loved passionately, and the intensity of her relationships left a lasting imprint on her heart. Memories of Sinatra, with all their joy and turmoil, stayed with her. She admitted in later interviews that part of her life had been defined by the impossibility of that love, the love that burned intensely but could not be contained or tamed. Her reflection on her early years in Hollywood revealed both pride and regret. Ava acknowledged that she had worked hard to succeed in an industry that was often cruel to women. Studios controlled nearly every aspect of her life, from her appearances to the types of roles she played, to even her personal relationships. The contract she signed limited her freedom and sometimes forced her to make choices she might not have made on her own. She had sacrificed parts of her personal life for her career, including her pregnancies, which she later admitted had been emotionally painful decisions imposed by the rules of Hollywood. These experiences shaped her understanding of the costs of fame and the fragility of personal autonomy in a world that prioritized profit and image over human needs. Despite these hardships, Ava Gardner remained proud of her work. Her films continued to receive acclaim. and she remained respected by colleagues and critics alike. She had a unique ability to convey emotional depth on screen, to make audiences feel her character's joy, pain, and complexity. Movies like The Killers, The Barefoot Contessa, and On the Beach were not just entertainment. They were reflections of her talent, her passion, and her ability to live fully in every role she played. Ava understood that her art was part of her legacy, a gift she could leave behind for the world. Even in her later years, she maintained friendships and connections that were important to her. Though she had endured difficult marriages and relationships, she valued the people who had stood by her, offering love, support, and understanding. She often spoke about the importance of loyalty and honesty, both in her personal life and in her work. These values guided her decisions and shaped the way she interacted with others. Her life showed that strength and vulnerability could coexist, that a person could be independent, successful, and still capable of deep emotional connection. In 1986, Ava suffered a serious stroke, which was a turning point in her final years. Her health declined, and she faced the challenges of aging with the same courage that had carried her through Hollywood's demanding world. Despite the years that had passed since her divorce from Sinatra, he remained involved in her life in a surprising and deeply human way. He arranged for her to receive medical care in the United States, organizing a private flight with full medical support. This gesture demonstrated the lasting bond between them, a connection that transcended anger, separation, and time. It highlighted the complexity of human relationships and the enduring nature of true emotional attachment. During her recovery, Ava had time to reflect on the meaning of her life. She spoke candidly about love, loss, and the lessons she had learned. She acknowledged the mistakes she had made, the people she had hurt, and the pain she had endured. Yet she also celebrated her achievements, her resilience, and her ability to survive a world that often seemed intent on breaking her. She spoke about the importance of self-respect, honesty, and living authentically, sharing insights that went beyond celebrity gossip to reveal the inner life of a woman who had seen both glamour and suffering. Ava Gardner passed away on January 25, 1990, in Westminster, London, at the age of 67. Her death marked the end of an era in Hollywood, but her legacy lived on. She was laid to rest in Smithfield, North Carolina, near her family, including her parents and siblings. The Ava Gardner Museum, established in 1996, stands as a testament to her life and achievements. The museum preserves not only her films and photographs, but also personal items, letters, and memorabilia, allowing fans and historians alike to glimpse the private life of a woman whose public image was so carefully managed, yet who lived with a depth and complexity few could imagine. Ava Gardner's legacy is defined by contrasts, beauty and pain, fame and privacy, passion and heartbreak. She was admired for her glamour and her screen presence, but she was also a woman who experienced profound emotional struggle. Her candid reflections on her life, especially her relationship with Frank Sinatra, provide insight into the challenges of love, fame, and personal freedom. She loved deeply, suffered intensely, and endured with dignity. Her story is one that resonates beyond Hollywood, touching on universal themes of love, ambition, resilience, and the human desire for both connection and independence. Even decades after her passing, Ava Gardner continues to inspire. Her films are watched and celebrated, her life story is studied, and her personal writings offer lessons in courage, emotional honesty, and the pursuit of authenticity. She demonstrated that a person could achieve greatness, maintain individuality, and navigate the most challenging relationships with integrity. Her life shows that fame and fortune cannot shield anyone from the complexities of human emotion, and that true strength lies in the ability to endure, reflect, and remain true to oneself. In the end, Ava Gardner's story is not only about a Hollywood star or a turbulent romance. It is about a woman who lived fully, loved deeply, and faced life's challenges head-on. Her life reminds us that beauty and talent are only part of the human experience, and that resilience, emotional honesty, and self-respect are what define a life well lived. Her love for Sinatra, with all its passion and pain, stands as one of the most compelling human stories of the 20th century. A love that shaped her life, haunted her years, and ultimately became a part of her enduring legacy. Ava Gardner showed the world that even amidst fame, scandal, and heartbreak, one could remain true to oneself. Her story is a testament to the courage it takes to love fully, the pain that comes with emotional honesty, and the beauty that can emerge from a life lived with passion and resilience. She may have left this world in 1990, but her life, her lessons, and her legacy continue to inspire, reminding us that the heart's experiences, love, loss, and endurance are what make life truly meaningful.